from James Cameron's honest and unfiltered thoughts about The Matrix, to the theories and obvious connections fans make between The Matrix and The Terminator. This is what James Cameron really thinks about The Matrix. James Cameron, one of the film industry's biggest visionaries, has never been shy about expressing his views when it comes to The Matrix or many other big movie franchises. But it would be surprising for some to hear that Cameron holds a complex perspective that straddles admiration, critique, and the thin line between influence and imitation. In his view, certain elements of The Matrix Reloaded, released in 2003, were directly inspired by his iconic film, The Terminator. Though many consider The Matrix to be an original creation by Lana and Lily Wachowski, Cameron insists that they borrowed snippets of DNA from The Terminator in their magnum opus. But far from taking offense, Cameron sees this as a celebration of his own work. In an interview with Deadline, Cameron commented, "I look at a film like The Matrix, for example, and I see little snippets of DNA from The Terminator in there, and I'm fine with that. It's like, great, I can celebrate that." His words echo a sense of pride and acknowledgement that his groundbreaking work in The Terminator had the power to inspire other filmmakers. James Cameron doesn't just see the supposed borrowing of elements from his work as a negative thing. He sees it as a way of continuing a conversation within the science fiction genre. Cameron continued, "I think The Matrix is one of the most profoundly fresh science fiction films ever made, and yet I do see snippets of Terminator DNA in it, and I'm flattered by that." However, it's important to note that Cameron's admiration for The Matrix doesn't blind him to what he perceives as its shortcomings, especially when it comes to its sequels. When discussing the development of his Avatar sequel, in a Collider interview, Cameron was clear that he didn't want his story to end up like the Matrix sequels, which he felt lacked a satisfying conclusion. "I'm writing it as separate stories that have an overall arc inclusive of the first film. I don't want to suffer from the Matrix 2 problem where it just ends like, what the hell? It's gotta end. There's gotta be a sense of conclusion, but also a sense that the journey will continue. And that's a fine line." Which many could say is a bit of a dig at The Matrix, but honestly, it's pretty common knowledge that The Matrix 2's ending did miss the mark. So, in essence, while Cameron acknowledges the influence of his work on The Matrix, he also seeks to learn from what he views as the trilogy's narrative flaws, trying to create a more satisfying narrative arc in his own sequels. What this underlines is Cameron's deep commitment to the art and craft of storytelling, his awareness of the influence of his work, and his willingness to continue pushing boundaries in the cinematic universe. It also shows Cameron isn't shy about speaking his mind, even if it means throwing small digs at fellow directors. As we have explored, inspiration and influence in the film industry form an intriguing two-way street, with a shared love for storytelling, often leading to unintentional borrowing and reinterpretation. This dynamic is shown in the relationship between James Cameron's work and the Matrix franchise. As he was crafting the Avatar universe, Cameron took these insights to heart. He aimed to create a rich, immersive world while ensuring each story could stand on its own. This narrative strategy allowed for depth and continuity without forcing a rigidly linear progression from one film to the next. His dedication to world building is evident in the way he developed the Na'vi culture in Avatar. As he told the Chicago Tribune, the sequels would delve deeper into the Na'vi lore and mythology, exploring characters like Dr. Grace, played by Sigourney Weaver, in greater detail. But Cameron's ambition went beyond the screen, as he hoped his carefully crafted universe would serve as a foundation for future stories and inspire other creatives. It will also be the Bible for any future publication, a lookup guide for future writers who can come in and work within the world, he said. This is a clear indication of the care and attention to detail that Cameron brings to his work, striving not only to tell compelling stories, but also to create a living, breathing universe that can be expanded upon by future generations of storytellers. In conclusion, the relationship between Cameron and The Matrix is one of reciprocal influence and learning. Even as he believed The Matrix borrowed elements from The Terminator, Cameron was able to draw valuable lessons from the Wachowskis' trilogy that shaped his approach to Avatar and its sequels. This dynamic interaction underscores the interconnected nature of creativity in the film industry and how storytelling traditions can be passed down, modified, and reimagined in an ongoing cycle of inspiration and reinvention. So tracking back a little here, although Cameron believed The Matrix took inspiration from his Terminator film, what do the Matrix creators themselves have to say about this? The Wachowskis, the creative duo behind the groundbreaking The Matrix franchise, have been quite open about the diverse array of influences that helped shape their iconic sci-fi universe. This includes a wide range of sources, from philosophical works to anime, showcasing their eclectic tastes and intellectual curiosity. Anime, a form of animated storytelling from Japan, was a particularly significant influence. In particular, the cyberpunk-themed anime film Ghost in the Shell played a substantial role. The film's integration of philosophy, technology, and a dystopian future aligns closely with the thematic structure of The Matrix. The cyberpunk genre continued to serve as an inspiration, with seminal works like William Gibson's Neuromancer shaping the Wachowskis' conceptualization of the Matrix universe. Neuromancer, known for its exploration of artificial intelligence and the fusion of physical and digital realities, shares a kinship with the Wachowskis' dark vision of the future. Moreover, the Wachowskis' intellectual leanings are evident in their references to philosophical texts. They've often mentioned their interest in the works of Jean Baudrillard, particularly Simulacra and Simulation, and René Descartes, both of whom explore themes of reality, illusion, and perception-central motifs in The Matrix. But their inspirations weren't solely academic or artistic. They also drew from their personal experiences. The Wachowskis have acknowledged that their upbringing in Chicago shaped their worldview and indirectly influenced their filmmaking. Elements from their life seeped into their work, manifesting as thematic undertones, aesthetics, and even character dynamics. Their interest in cyberpunk culture, a movement characterized by a dystopian future dominated by technology, was another significant factor. The genre's visual style, along with its focus on societal issues and the human condition, finds a clear echo in The Matrix. In conclusion, the Wachowskis' work is a true pastiche of influences, merging elements from various sources to create a unique, thought-provoking cinematic experience. These influences not only shaped The Matrix, but also broadened the scope of the science fiction genre, demonstrating the limitless potential of cinematic storytelling when fueled by diverse inspirations. But even though the Matrix creators haven't openly admitted to the Terminator series playing a part in its creation, there are a lot of similarities and themes you can make a connection to. But wait, we've got a bit of a crazy theory that you might have heard on the internet already. Some fans have come up with a theory that The Matrix is actually a sequel to the Terminator, in which, in a different timeline, John Connor's rebellion was actually defeated by the machines and enslaved, stuck in the Matrix by their machine overlords. It's a wild theory, but it does make sense. Although there's no confirmation of it, it would be a pretty wild reality. Many fans also believe they're one in the same universe, bringing more fuel to the fire on this theory. But it's all speculation, and only James Cameron and the Wachowskis know for sure if that's what they intended. Regardless, both these sci-fi franchises deserve praise for their creativity and how they trailblazed the movie world. So, from the theories and obvious connections fans make between The Matrix and The Terminator, to James Cameron's honest and unfiltered thoughts about The Matrix. This was what James Cameron really thinks about The Matrix.